Here's one. It's not really a myth, but it's one that you need to be aware of. All right. Do not take your American Express card.
Because it's not welcome everywhere.
Up to Canada and think that it's going to be welcome.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I had a ton of problems with my American Express. Most of the places in Canada wouldn't take it. And unfortunately, the MasterCard that I had, a Citibank MasterCard, Citi kept turning it off.
My Amazon Visa worked everywhere, every time.
Yeah, so I guess the message is take 2 or 3 credit cards with you, because if one of them gives you a hard time, you need a backup. I ended up having to use my bank debit card because the city gave me a hard time and nobody liked my American Express.
Peter's just sitting in the absolute wrong spot for the fire.
I'm getting burned out here.
Yep.
My eyes.
And saying about credit cards, I think it's really important as well. Contact your credit card companies. Tell them that you're going to be traveling. Because I had no problem with mine at all, but I also contacted both of my credit card companies, told them exactly where I was going to be traveling, and
they asked for a list, and I give them a full list of where you're going to be. You don't have to necessarily give them the dates, but a rough estimate. Also, cash.
Maybe taking Canadian currency might have been a good idea. Wish you guys had thought of that.
And a good point. If you need Canadian currency, a good place to get it is actually if you're a AAA member. Yeah. You can get it at AAA office, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
Right. Yeah. We all, Peter and I got some Canadian currency. I took $500 worth of Canadian currency with me. I came back with, I think I have $10 and change.
Wow. $17, and it's all in loonies and toonies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So we did pretty good. My goal was to try to spend it all before we headed back into the U.S. I got close, but again, $10, so that's fine. Because it does cost you money. I can go trade it in right now, but it's going to cost me money to go do so. So it's just not worth it.
So we're thinking about doing Newfoundland.
Yeah, so I went to my bank and had them do it, and they charged me, I forget what the percentage is, but they had a, not a really huge fee, but a substantial one. I think it ended up costing me $417 or $418 US to get $500 worth of Canadian currency. And then Peter went to his bank, and they were going to charge him just this ridiculous amounts of money.
It was going to cost me like $567 to get $500 Canadian.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is not right. And I got off, and they couldn't give it to me right away either. So I called Craig, and I said, Craig, what did you do? And he told me, and I was like, okay. And I went back, and I said, look, cancel all of that. And I forgot who I had talked to, and someone said, you should try AAA. So I called AAA, and they said, oh, yeah, no problem. Come on down. And it ended up costing me like $400 and something US to get the $500.
Right, I think he got a better deal than I got on it. So it was nice. So next time I'm going to try AAA.
Yeah,
sure.
One of the things I thought was interesting, though, the conversion rate is in our favor, right, being from the U.S., but the price of everything up there was really expensive. So, for example, we went and bought the bug and tar remover before we brought the bikes in for service.
$12
at Walmart. We paid like $11 for a jug of bug and tar remover. I got home and I wanted to clean my bike, so I went to the local Walmart. That was like $4.99.
Right.
So everybody thinks it's great because the currency conversion is in your favor, but in general,
I think the
prices are high.
Like I was going to buy that North Face hoodie zipper thing, and I was like, oh, that's probably too expensive. But then I realized, I never even realized until I got home, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that was Canadian.
Right. Yeah.
And if I had compensated for it, it would have been pretty much the same price I would have paid at an REI or EMS, something like that.
Yeah, and you also have to remember that you're going to get charged, if you're using your credit card, you're going to get charged a fee, a foreign transaction fee. And I think my bank was 3%.
I was good. Amazon Visa had no foreign transaction.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, some of the airline cards, too, if you get like an American
it's
Airlines
something worth
card.
Checking out.
Yeah, I think I just went through all of my costs and everything, and I believe it ended up costing me another like $50, overall in transaction
fees.
Fees.
Yeah, I had called several of my card companies, and I was surprised, but the Chase Amazon was Zippo, and I said, okay, that's the one I'm using.
Right.
And
so cool. All right. So, anything else you guys want to add about?
Let's go on another trip.
Going.
Yeah,
there you go for another trip.
I'm ready to plan the next one.
Give yourself more time to stop and enjoy where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had 3 weeks with these guys, and we had 6,500 miles roughly to cover in that time period.
Yeah.
And even though, I mean, some days we were going 400 miles, but most of the days we were going, 350, say. And still, it's a lot of ground to cover. And, I look back on it. I'm going through all my video and stuff now. Man, I took a ton of pictures.
Yeah, I know.
And a ton of video.
Yeah.
But at the time, we were going, man, we're not stopping enough. We're not taking enough pictures.
Yeah,
But,
no.
I mean, I got a ton of stuff. So,
So maybe that's another thing to think about.
but there are also
is
too like a lot of places that were off the beaten path, or like maybe you had to park the bike and go for a hike, a little bit. To
it would
see
have
something
been
quite spectacular.
It would have been nice to be able to hang out
But-
for a day or two in certain spots and
I
take
know
the time.
we just couldn't do it. I mean, obviously because of our schedules, but if you could. Take the extra time. Yeah.
So for those of you who are independently wealthy and retired,
Exactly.
tell us how you did that, and then go on a nice long trip.
So,
All right,
anyways,
very good. Okay, anything else?
That's it. It was fun.
That
it was
about
great. It was great fun.
Yeah. It was challenging for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of an endurance contest.
It is.
It's a lot of
bit of
days to
that.
get up in the morning and get on the bike.
Right. And I'll mention this one thing because we can laugh about it now, right? But Peter mentioned the GPS earlier. We had a little bit of a conflict with GPSs, right? Because I have a 390 LM Garmin. Peter just bought the new 590.
No,
Was it
395.
395, excuse me.
And I've got one from the 90s.
Right. He's got an older one.
Mine from the 90s died.
So their routing algorithms are all slightly different, right? So
Go right, go left.
right. So I made all of these GPS files up, but once you put them in the Garmin, they change it. It changes slightly,
unless
so,
you put a lot of points in.
right. So. We would get up to an intersection on a few occasions, and I would go to the right. Peter goes, "Mine's going to the left."
And I'm going straight.
Right. So, at one point, I lost my cool. Right. But. It was a little frustrating and sometimes. So basically, whoever's in the lead is the guy that gets to choose.
And we did split that up. That was good.
You did.
We all took time a point, so that was fun. It gave everybody else a chance to kind of just hang back and relax.
that was nice actually. I led most of the way up, and I let Peter lead most of the way back, and it was nice just to sit back in the back. And I spotted a grizzly that we probably wouldn't have seen if I hadn't been lollygagging in the back.
The infamous dog grizzly.
Yeah, the dog grizzly.
Is that a dog? It's an awful
Well,
big dog.
I saw this something brown sitting down by a little brook, and it was just kind of just sitting there, kind of staring out into space. And I thought, man, that looks like a dog. And then I said, it's not, it's a grizzly. So I yelled in the comm units, and we all turned around and went and took pictures of the grizzly.
That was cool. And that was the
really
time
cool.
that Steve stopped. There's a bear. And, he goes, and we were ahead of him. So we pulled to the side, and he's like, yeah, there's a bear. Like, no, it's 2 cubs. And I go, yeah? And he goes, yeah, it's cool. There's 2 cubs. I go, where's Mama? I don't know. It's like, well, come on down. No, we're good over here.
That's right.
And the Russian guy, I kept saying, what's down there? He's going, bear.
Anyway.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
I didn't get eaten by the bear.
No, you did not
Nope.
get eaten by the
You didn't
bear.
get
We
eaten by
didn't
the
get
bear.
run over by the buffalo either.
I did leave the bike running, though. I wasn't going to turn it off
Yes.
in case it didn't start.
I'll tell this because I thought it was kind of funny at the time. Is we were traveling from Liard Hot Springs, and we started running through this foggy area. And as we enter this fog, there are, I don't know, 40 or 50 buffalo over on the left-hand side of the road. And then we get up to the end of this big long mass of buffalo, and there's 2 of them standing in the road in the left-hand lane. We're in the right-hand lane.
It was one right off in the
right, and then there was actually a couple of them over on the right-hand side, and so I pull up and I hear Steve in the comm unit going, "What are you going to do?" And I just said, "Well, I'm going to slow down and go through them."
Excuse me, buffalo.
And so we did. We just kind of worked our way through them, and they looked at us and, didn't really care one way or the other.
I've had bad previous buffalo experience.
You had bad buffalo experience.
So, all right. All right, so that's it. You got to hear from these guys.
Well, I would add one more thing.
Okay.
The comm units were great, right?
All right, yeah.
The pack talks are just amazing. It wouldn't have been nearly as fun without having the ability to talk to one another.
And that DCM mode is just
even passing those convoys of campers, right? Someone gets out in front and says, right,
You're
all
clear,
clear,
that's
everybody keep going. Doing that without those comm units would have been much more difficult. So that's $250 that's well spent.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on those. They work great, and they continue.
they were flawless,
they continue
right?
to
no
work
problem.
very well.
We even did a couple of tests some days where it was sort of boring on the road, where I would drop back so these guys were way out of sight, and we still had good, clear communications.
Yeah.
Right? Several miles apart.
Yeah, definitely invaluable.
Yep. Good, well spent.
Someone would sit out in front, on the bumpy roads and stuff like that, and like, okay, you got dips, you got fissures, you got this, that, and the other thing coming up, So someone takes point and let them know what's going on.
All right.
That's all we got.
Cool. All right. That's it from these guys. Later.
It's a lot.